What's up, guys? Time for another video. Today is on Subliminals, one of my most interesting topics that I've been pretty fascinated about for the past 4 years. There's this thing called Subliminals. I got into it 4 years ago, right around this time actually. December of 2014 is when I discovered Subliminals. They intrigued me because I always knew that subliminal messaging and subconscious manipulation is a real thing and a real phenomenon. So discovering that there are audio programs, 30, 45, maybe 60 minutes in length, and those audio tracks have subliminal messages encoded in them. But unlike traditional subliminals that maybe I used to think about as being like subliminal messages hidden in movies, hidden in music, hidden in pictures, hidden in the media, advertisement, all that kind of is like on the other side of the subliminal spectrum. So knowing that there's an audio program that I can actually use consciously and willfully, and I can choose to hit play and know that a certain set of instructions are being played to me was kind of cool. I first started off with a subliminal called Alpha Male 6 by Shannon Madison at Indigo Mind Labs. Very good company, great subliminal producer. He's got a bunch of great programs out there. That was the first subliminal I ever used, and I started seeing results like pretty much instantly. Like it was a 6-month program, so every month there'd be bits and pieces that I would exhibit as far as different aspects of my personality were coming out, were being unlocked. And so that kind of sold me on the whole concept. So I started digging a lot more, and I started doing a lot more research. I did research, and I discovered that it's not just about the scripting that goes into making subliminals. There's a lot on the back end side too. Besides the scripting, there is the build techniques and the audio encoding processes. Everybody who has a program like Audacity can make subliminals, put together a script, and just reduce the volume down low enough so that your audio conscious mind cannot sense that. But you have to really know what you're doing to really be able to hit certain levels of the subconscious to get maximum benefit from the subliminals. Subliminals, like I said, they use scripting. They are, in essence, something like affirmations, but they're written in a way such that the subconscious mind can understand it. The conscious mind and the subconscious mind are completely different animals as far as what language that they speak. From my experience and from my understanding, based on a lot of research and a lot of reading that I've done, the subconscious is almost like a computer. It's like a computer it's like an operating system, right? The subconscious does not understand negating terms. Like if I were to say, I am not poor, or I am not afraid. The subconscious mind cannot understand that. You and me speaking in everyday English can talk in that manner, and you will understand what I'm saying, but the subconscious mind does not understand concepts like not or no. It deals in absolutes, and while it does deal in absolutes, let me rephrase that. It doesn't necessarily deal in absolutes. I'll get into a little bit more later. But negating phrases aren't recognized by the subconscious. As far as other methods that the subconscious mind does not understand, from what I know of, it doesn't understand if-then statements. Like if you were to say, if I am X, then Y, Z will happen. Like you can't do that, from what I understand. I'm sure it's possible somehow, some way. Nothing in this world is impossible. But from what I've learned, those are like some of the two distinguishing things that need to be understood about about subliminals in general. Yeah, they use scripting. Scripting in the sense that those affirmations or audio has a goal of affecting you in a certain way. Like, I am extremely confident. That's an affirmation. That's a good affirmation to put in a subliminal, right? I'm sure there are a bunch of YouTube subliminals out there that have that exact sentence. But that's kind of boring, isn't it? Why do I say it's boring? I am incredibly confident. That's newbie level subconscious subliminal mind programming. We got to get into the good stuff. The good stuff is the ones that are like 50 words long in one sentence and are brilliantly crafted, that they don't use any words like is not, or they don't use if-then statements. How can you craft a subliminal that has long statements without using those fundamental English rules that we use in our language? There's a couple of companies out there, and I mentioned Indigo Mind Labs is one of them. Subliminal Club is the other one. They both use extremely long, complex scripting and extremely well-made subliminal audio encoding technology. I know this because I've used them, and the way that it programs you is like freaking insane. It's like, imagine that you are in the movie The Matrix. Phenomenal movie. I think it was way before its time, but it was still very good movie, and it was well liked by the general population anyway. But imagine, like, when Neo is in that little place, and they plug in that program into him, and he starts executing this program, and now all of a sudden he can jump. Kind of like how subliminals work. It's not as magical, it's not as mystical, but it is kind of cool, because you can like program modules into your mind. By listening to the subliminal every night for X amount of time, you are training your brain to understand these messages, and you are actually writing it into the hardwire of your brain. So these changes that you may experience will become semi-permanent. And I say semi-permanent because real life has a way of programming us that is so much stronger than subliminals. While subliminals do work while you're using them, after like 2 years or maybe 3 years, you will need to refresh that programming so that all that conscious real world stuff hasn't, so that you know that all that real world stuff hasn't overwritten all that you've programmed with your subconscious. So subliminals, in order to be considered truly subliminal, they have to be below the level of human consciousness. You can't be able to perceive it. If there was a word written back here, and there's not, I'm just letting you know, if there was a word written back there and it was very light, but you could see it kind of, it wouldn't be subliminal. That would be just like above the threshold of perception, because you'd be able to perceive it. If it was truly subliminal, you wouldn't see it at all. And that's kind of like that whole cartoons when we were growing up, they had those little words in the clouds and stuff. Those aren't really subliminal because it's like hidden in plain view. Subliminal is completely below and outside of the comprehension of the conscious mind. Like, you won't be able to perceive it. Subliminals access a certain part of the mind, and they access different layers of the subconscious. It's said that the subconscious has multiple layers of operation. All the way up top, you have the actual conscious mind. Right underneath that, you have layers and layers and layers and layers and layers until you get to the absolute core foundation of your human brain, the human operative mode, or modus operandi. When you get to that level, when you get to this absolute floor level and you start reprogramming yourself from the ground up, you can actually affect your entire personality and your entire subconscious and all the layers above it too. It's really hard to go from the top all the way down. Experiences that are very traumatic or extremely exciting, or experiences that are extremely emotionally charged, have a way of accessing further down the scale of the levels of consciousness. Subconsciousness, I should say. But the only other way to actually access and consciously will yourself to be a different way at that level is to use subliminal audio programs. There's a lot of them out there. I mean, YouTube is filled. There's so much crap on YouTube out there. Some of it probably works. Some of it probably doesn't. I mean, I've never used any of them, but I do know that some of them have their affirmations that they've used in that subliminal. They put those affirmations in the comment box, and they're not impressive to me. Like, I don't know. That's just me personally, because I've been spoiled with high-end subliminals like AM6, which costs $500, but well worth every single penny. There's other subliminals, which is way better and way cheaper, like the ones by Subliminal Club, and the link's down in the description. So get your copies today if you like what you hear, and if you support my channel. Clicking that link and buying through my link will support this channel. But Subliminal Club audios are like $35, and they use pretty advanced technologies, and you can actually mix and match them. So you can actually use multiple programs at once. And the thing about that, with those two subliminal companies, they use so much advanced level scripting and audio encoding that it occupies every single last bit of your available subconscious resources. Sounds kind of like a computer, like the way I'm saying that, isn't it? Because I think the subconscious is very much like a computer that can access the realm of information out there. Based on some of the experiences I've had with subliminals and the way that I've learned information and have had experiences, I am led to believe that the subconscious is actually like an antenna into the sea of collective consciousness, and can actually tap into the unformed quantum potential to bring memories. It can bring information, thought, that otherwise would not be accessible normally to this archetypal being that I am, living the life that I have lived. Like, how could I possibly have had access to certain information had I not been somehow tapping into a different reality or a different way of, different source of information? It's really cool stuff. There's quite a few programs out there that you can use. Subliminals are very innovative, I want to say. They're innovative in the sense that it's not easily accessible to some people, like the good ones anyway, and that's only because they don't have any exposure to it. And even if they do have exposure to it, they may be skeptical about it. And let me put this out there. It's entirely reasonable to be skeptical about subliminals. For instance, like, you mean to tell me that I can press play on an audio program every single day and I will have my life changed? What you talking about, Willis? Yeah, it's pretty bold statement, right? But I mean, try it. What do you have to lose? If you spend $35 on a subliminal and it doesn't work, so what? You're out $35. Like, at least it was worth a try. But here's the thing. It's okay to be skeptical, right? It's okay to be skeptical in the sense that I encourage everybody to question everything. There are some people out there who are going to antagonize and skepticize. They're going to be skeptics in an antagonistic way, meaning no matter what you present, no matter what idea you present, that person is going to hit back with a reason why they think it won't work. Those are the people that, if you're one of those people, and you're still watching this video, man, I mean, you might not really be one of those people, but go find some other form or some other way to get success in your life. Or try some tried and true methods like conscious control of your thoughts and emotions. If certain people are not open to the ideas of subliminal, that's cool. People are like that. People out there are like that. But here's the thing. There are things out there that exist that we can't necessarily comprehend. Subliminals is partly one of them. I talk about other stuff in my channel as well, like magic, astrology, pheromones. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can't perceive, per se. Punny. There's stuff out there that go above most people's comprehension, but that doesn't take away from the fact that something might exist out there. Anyway, I'm talking too much about backing up these subliminals and why don't need to be defending it so much. I mean, if you're skeptical, please be skeptical. In fact, question everything. Question it. question me. Don't even take my word for it. There's some free subliminals out there that you should use. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Like, there are subliminals that are free, and they're free so that you can actually see results, and if they work, go for it. I personally went headfirst into that $500 program, and man, my life was changed. And I don't condone anybody go out there and spend $500 on something that they don't believe in. Don't even bother with that. So, like, where do you go from here? Well, it's up to you. Thanks for watching this video.